Money, Money, Money Insurance Special, co-presented by Exide Life Insurance.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Money, Money, Money. I'm Sumera Abdi. So we've been speaking about health insurance all through last week, and that's a theme that we're going to continue this week as well, because not only is it important, but it is a vast subject, and it's something that needs a little bit more attention than just another policy. Harshvardhan Roongta of Roongta Securities is back with us this week to carry forward this discussion. Hi Harsh, welcome back. So last week we spoke about two kinds of policies essentially. One of them is that you're reimbursed for the amount of expenses that you incur. Then we spoke about the defined benefit plans as well, where you get a lump sum whatever be the illness and accordingly. Are there any other kinds of policies that policyholders can actually go and buy, I mean, besides just these two?
Well, Sumera, interestingly, the terminology health insurance is mostly misunderstood to be covering only hospital expenses reimbursement, but that's not the truth. In fact, there are 4 options available in different forms. Some may be in a standalone policy, some may be as a combination product. However, the benefits are given as follows. Like we spoke about Mediclaim. We spoke about policies which reimburse your actual expenses incurred in a hospital. So these are indemnity based, and this is what we've already spoken last week. The other 3 are all defined benefit. Now one being, as we spoke, a critical illness, which is the moment you're diagnosed of a particular ailment which is enlisted in the policy, a lump sum amount will be paid out to you irrespective of whether you've been hospitalized or no. The third is again a defined benefit, but it is linked to a surgery that you're advised to undergo. So it's called a major surgical benefit, kind of a policy, wherein if you're advised to undergo a particular surgery and which is enlisted in your policy and covered in your policy, in that case you will make a claim with your Mediclaim that you will get an actual expenses which have been reimbursed. Over and above that, the major surgical benefit will actually pay you again a defined lump sum amount in your hand. This is over and above your Mediclaim reimbursement. The third is a hospital daily cash benefit. So while you're hospitalized, there are certain non-medical expenses that you incur, such as there could be, you could have refreshments, there are other expenses that you incur while you're in hospital. So this hospital daily cash benefit policy, freezes a particular amount, fixes a particular amount that you will get per day of your hospitalization. So it could be a 1,000 rupees, it could be a 4,000 rupees per day. So irrespective of whatever treatment you're undergoing, if you've been hospitalized for X number of days with a waiting period, you will be getting per day of hospitalization, you'll get a fixed amount in your hand. So these are the 4 essential types. Now you can buy them in individual if they're available as a standalone policies, or some of them have a combination, like you would have a Mediclaim policy with a hospital cash benefit included in it. So there are combinations available, but these are primarily the 4 kind of options that policyholders have.
So if one were to buy them individually, what's the order in which one should be buying them, and how expensive are them, and what's the average premium for either of these?
Well, if as we've already discussed, you cannot buy everything because there are other things in your life, in your personal financial life, that you need to address. So most important and the first option that you should definitely take is an expenses reimbursement policy, which is a Mediclaim or any other name that each insurance company gives. So this is basically whatever expenses you're going to incur, up to the sum insured, you will be entitled for reimbursement in a particular year. Once you're done with that, then you need to definitely buy a critical illness policy, a defined benefit. If you are diagnosed of a particular ailment which is covered in the policy, you will be given a lump sum. We've discussed the purpose of that is basically to replace the loss of earning capabilities. Then you come down to a major surgical benefit. In case you still feel that there are funds that you have left to allocate for an health insurance product, then you may want to take some assistance and some kind of additional benefit in case you were to undergo a major surgery. And hospital cash benefit is a small benefit. It can be possibly added into some policy that you already have. From the cost perspective, again, Mediclaim, as I said, a 10 lakh policy would cost for a 30-year-old individual would be about 7,000 or 8,000 rupees. It should be around in that range for a 10 lakh sum insured. A critical illness again would be slightly around the same portion. Overall, if you look at the entire allocation, a 30-year-old, if he buys all the policies, the allocation would be about 25,000 rupees per annum. So you need to decide if you want to get into this kind of a system or no.
And how does, if I'm buying a policy, how does one decide, do different policies have different waiting periods for the same illness, or is it standardized, or is it dependent on every individual insurer?
Well, by and large, you will see a category would be, would have the same kind of a waiting period. However, there could be some kind of ailments which will be having an exclusion of say 2 years in a policy A, and policy B would say possibly give it a 3-year waiting period. So there is a difference in the waiting period for the same ailment also. More confusing is that sometimes a particular ailment has been described and given a different medical terminology in one particular policy, and is given something else in another. So unless you have a medical history, it does not really matter much. In case you have a specific medical history in your family, then you may want to get into the details and understand the medical terminology put inside the policy, and then choose a company which has a lesser waiting period for that particular policy.
All right, fair enough. What happens if the disease relapses, right? I mean, is there a specific number of days within which that claim will be settled, or over and above which the person is not liable for anything?
Well, every policy will specifically mention in the policy wordings, you will have any one illness. Okay, this basically defines that in case you have had a medical treatment and you are under continuous treatment, there could be some ailments which need continuous consultation. So you are in a continuous treatment period, or it relapses within say 45 days. So then it will be considered as any one illness. The implications are pretty large on this. Understand a situation, hypothetically, you were undergone a particular treatment and your policy expires after 15 days of that treatment. And if it case relapses again within the 45 days, it is considered as any one illness.
Okay.
In other cases, in cases of waiting period, if you have a waiting period in which you have the first treatment was taken within the waiting period, within 45 days the waiting period has the 2-year waiting period has completed, and it relapses again, it will again be taken as any one illness. So any one illness does have a lot of implication on your claim and waiting period, and that is considered as say 45 days currently.
Alright, so since you brought up the issue of claim, there's of course cashless and reimbursement. Now cashless, as its name says, is very simple to understand. What about reimbursement? If someone's making a claim, how do they go about it, and in real terms, is it very cumbersome?
Well, there are certain procedures to follow. Now, if you are going in for a cashless, the hospital in which you are going to be admitted has an insurance desk present over there which assists you in the entire process. When it comes to cashless, well, you have to be very careful about the procedures you need to follow, because your claim can be reputed if you do not follow that process. So the normal procedure says the moment you're admitted, within a specified time, which is say 24 hours, you need to intimate the insurance company that you have been admitted. You will file your claim documents in the due course, but you have been admitted. Then while discharge, you need to make sure that all your bills, receipts, all the documents are being accumulated in one place, because that is what you will need to submit to the insurance company. Your discharge papers, you may possibly go ahead one step ahead and take the indoor case papers. All hospitals make their indoor case papers the moment everybody. So you can take a certified copy of that and submit it along with your claim in case you need to expedite it. Then comes the period within which you need to submit those documents. Now, which in most cases has been unreasonably set at 7 days. The policy documents say that after your discharge, within 7 days, you're supposed to file all these documents before the insurance company for getting the claim. Now, and obviously the IRDA has given a guideline saying that this timeline should not be strictly followed, and a claim cannot be rejected merely because it was not given in 7 days.
Yeah, but as you rightly mentioned, it's a nuisance value, because then you have to go and approach perhaps the regulator or the grievance cell, and it just becomes a very, very lengthy process. But I guess on that note, it's time for us to take a very quick break. We'll come back in a bit. Harshvardhan will stay on with us, and he's going to answer some of the queries sent in by our viewers. Stay tuned to Money, Money, Money.
Money, Money, Money Insurance Special, co-presented by Exide Life Insurance.
Welcome back. You're watching Money, Money, Money. So far, Harshvardhan Roongta has detailed a lot of the aspects regarding health insurance, and really, he's tackled many of the subjects that haven't been spoken about very often. So now let's open up our lines and get in some of the questions posted by our viewers. First up, we have Kripal Singh, who's called in from Ajmer. Hi, sir. How can we help you?
Hi, this is Kripal Singh. My age is 45 years. The health insurance provided by my employee was very less, so I bought an additional plan as well from a different company. How can I claim now? Can I use only one insurance as I should use both?
Okay, so Harshvardhan, that actually sounds like a very valid question. A lot of people may have more than one insurer. How do they go about settling the claim?
Well, Sumera, in earlier times, we had this principle of contribution which kicked in into Mediclaim policies. What does that mean? If you're holding two concurrent policies and if there is a claim, you need to claim before both the companies in the proportion in which you have it. Now, for example, if you have two policies of 5 lakh rupees each and your claim is for rupees 1 lakh, the principal contribution said that you have to claim 50% each from both the companies. Right. You would have to first approach one company, submit all the original documents there, take a certified copy from them, and submit that with the other company, saying that I have applied in X company for part of the claim. Now this has been again changed by IRDA, wherein the policy holder is free to claim from any of the company that he wishes to claim. So today at this juncture, you could file your claim before any one insurance company that you wish to file if you have two different policies.
But that's only my choice, right? If I wanted to split it still between the two insurers, there is still that factor that it all has to be done within 7 days, right? So if the regulator is stepping up and reforming the sector, why not just do away with this 7 days within which you must file your complaint? Because there's no way that I can file it with one insurer, get the papers back in time within those 7 days and file it with the next.
Absolutely. Even if you do not consider a situation wherein you have to take documents from one insurer and submit to the other, look at it in practical sense. I mean, if a person has been discharged from hospital, how under the sun is it going to be possible for him to first leave everything, the recovery process, and collect all the documents in place and run to the insurance company to submit it? It is just physically not possible, and we've seen IRDA taking a stand wherein they started to standardize documents, they started to standardize the definitions. So well, there has to be some mind put by the regulator on this and some attention given to this particular area, wherein at least a 30 days or a 45 days time period should be reasonably given to the policy holder to accumulate all the documents and submit it before the insurance company. So it's about time that this factor is put into the policy and a standard time period is given all across different insurance companies. Companies should not be given the discretion to choose what they feel like. Like we had instances earlier where it was 30 days in the previous version of the policy, and now it has been suddenly reduced to 7 days. This just leads to discontentment within the policyholders and reputation of unnecessary claims and delay of payment of claims.
Yeah, that's true actually. So let's hope this is one suggestion from our side and the reform that ADA can look at. But Mr. Singh, I hope your query has been answered and that advice works for you. Alright, the next caller is Shaheen Mukaddam, who is called in on the line from Pune. Hi Shaheen.
I'm Shaheen Mukaddam and my age is 23. I'm a student. At what age should people buy medical insurance? As a student, do I need it?
Alright, Harshvardhan, we've been getting a lot of young investors. We now have a young, what can I call, a willing policy holder. Is she too young or can she go ahead and take a policy? I mean, how young is too young?
Well, Sumera, it is a myth that only people who are senior in age are prone to being admitted to hospitals. That is not true. So I would say a medical emergency could occur to any person irrespective of the age, caste and creed. So while all insurance companies begin to cover people from 3 months of age, I would suggest that's the time you should start buying a cover for yourself. You will find children being admitted for smaller ailments such as tonsillitis or adenoids. I mean, we've seen those kind of ailments. Yeah. So there is no reason why you need to be waiting and you feel that I'm perfectly fine. It could be an accident which could possibly land you in a hospital. So the earlier you can cover yourself, the better. Starting from 3 months of age.
Yeah, I guess our query stems from the fact because we've been dissuading a lot of younger people from buying life insurance. So I guess they sort of wondered whether health insurance also also falls in that category. But Shaheen, I hope that was useful advice for you and it works as well. Thanks very much for calling in. Harshvardhan, thanks very much for 2 weeks of solid information on health insurance. Thanks very much once again.
My pleasure.
For joining in. And here's something that you may find interesting. The next time that you actually have to fill a proposal form to buy an insurance policy, here's what you need to know.
Experts caution that every policyholder must fill out the proposal form in their own hand and not rely on the agent. Any discrepancy here may actually lead to cancellation of your claim. So here's what you need to check. Clearly spell out your name and address. Next, you'll notice a column requiring bank details of the proposer. This is crucial because the insurance regulator IRDA no longer allows insurance claims to be settled via check payment. The column requiring the family physician's name may be left blank if no specific doctor's advice is sought. As we turn to the next page, the policyholder needs to fill out all their details with accuracy. Any column left blank may actually lead to rejection of claim. Do remember to also mention the name of the nominee as well as the relationship. Leaving this blank would defy the entire purpose of insurance. The relationship with proposer refers to the relationship of the other insured with the primary policyholder, which may be yourself. The next column is critical. One must provide details of the previous or other insurance policies, including period, sum insured, and so on. Health history is equally critical. This part should be filled with great care and cross-checked to clear out any digressions. It is a must that the proposer fill this out themselves, or in the very least, with their complete knowledge. This should contain all known health issues to avoid problems later.
And now that we've told you what to look out for, let's also tell you what many of those terms actually mean.
With-profit policies are those insurance policies which are entitled to a bonus by the insurer either at the time of claim or maturity, while without-profit policy means exactly the opposite. These are policies which are not entitled to any bonus.
With that, it's time to take a very quick break. Still ahead is our tip of the week, and it's on health insurance.
Money, Money, Money Insurance Special, co-presented by Exide Life Insurance.